It's not just about connections, it's really about trust. And I'm going to talk about someone who built trust better than anyone else we hear about today. Her name is Harriet Tubman. And I know you all are like, oh, Harriet Tubman, Ashley, we already know this story. We already know this story. But we're going to talk about how she also built wealth and was one of the most effective underground railroad operators in American history. She moved people from freedom through a network so tight that those who traveled with her were never lost on her watch. While other people talked about freedom, Harriet built a model that delivered it consistently, safely, and strategically. And one of the lesser known facts about her was at the same time, she was actually getting property, negotiating for her rates along the way, and getting ownership at a time where that was almost unheard of. So everyone knows she was the Moses of her people. But here's what they don't teach you. She was literally a brilliant operator. She understood planning, logistics, risk management better than most CEOs today. Between 1849 and 1860, she made repeated trips into the South and personally guided dozens of people to freedom while also helping many more escape by supporting the broader Underground Railroad network. Think about the operation she must have had at that time. She was moving human beings that enslavers valued at what would amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's money through hostile territory with a bounty on her head and groups that personally made it through. That is not because she was lucky, it's because she had a system. She developed routes, established safe houses, built relationships with allies, and created ways to communicate and coordinate across multiple states under constant surveillance. But here's what I want to talk about. Did y'all know this sister owned so much land? It was the equivalent to more than 30 acres in today's time. Literally owned so much land, built multiple streams of income over her lifetime, working as a nurse, a scout, and a spy during the Civil War, and later engaged in various ventures and speaking to support her community and her own survival. Like, what? If you're tired of random networking that goes nowhere, listen, success isn't about individual heroics. It's about building a system that works even when you're not in the room. And that is exactly what I want you all to understand. Now, if you are here today, I want you to know that Harriet Tubman's story goes beyond her freeing people, even though she did. It also goes for her being a fighter for financial freedom as well. Now, one of the things that I want you all to understand is that she was doing this in the 1800s. Okay. She is widely credited with personally guiding around 70 people to freedom while also helping many more escape through broader Underground Railroad networks. And in addition to that, she worked as a nurse and a spy for the Union Army. She pushed for the compensation and pension that she was owed, even when the system tried to deny her pay. She showed entrepreneurial thinking even while enslaved, negotiating with her enslaver at one point to pay a fixed amount so that she could hire herself out and keep parts of her earnings. After the war, Harriet did everything from speaking, taking in boarders, and selling goods, including home brewed drinks with her own recipes to support herself and the community. She understood something that some people miss even today, that even in the worst of circumstances, there can be room to negotiate and create value if you know what you bring to the table. Now, here's what I want to tell you guys. Let's look at the framework that you all have. Number one, you need to know your territory better than anybody else. One of the things that I want you all to understand is that it is critically important that you know your territory, that you know what you bring to the table, and that you know how you are going to use what you bring to the table to negotiate for yourself. If you just got here, we're talking about Harriet Tubman and the wealth that she built while also freeing dozens of people from slavery and more. And I want you to comment waitlist and get on the waitlist for Black Women Sell Live. Now, if y'all don't know about Black Women Sell Live, let me tell you. Black Women Sell Live, you guys, is an event that we're hosting for the third time, but this is one of 20 plus events that we've hosted to date. And this year we have almost 4,000 people on the wait list for the event and only 850 open seats. So what that means is, if you get on the wait list, you have your best chance of getting a ticket to this historic event. Now, so comment waitlist now. Comment waitlist right now, okay? And get on the waitlist. Now, if you are not watching this on Instagram, you're watching it on YouTube or anywhere else where we're live, then you can go to blackwomenselevent.com. I'll make sure to drop the link in the comments for you. Here's what I want you all to get from today's story. I want you all to understand that, one, you need to know your territory. You need to know your territory. The first part of this story that we can learn from Harriet Tubman is map. You need to know your territory. Harriet studied routes, safe houses, seasons, and patrol patterns. She knew her operating environment inside and out. What do you know about your industry that your competitors don't but should? 2, you need to build a reputation for precise execution. Harriet's record with people she personally led became her calling card. People trusted her because she had a proven track record. What could you become absolutely unquestionably reliable for? And 3, network. How are you creating relationships IRL, in real life? Okay? Can you create relationships based on mutual value and trust? Harriet's network worked because everyone involved knew their role and trusted others to play theirs. How can you create value for others in your network, not just extract it? The 4th lesson we can get from her is diversify. Build multiple revenue streams from your core expertise. Let me say it again. Build multiple revenue streams from your core expertise. So this is important. Harriet used her skills in strategy, courage, and care as a conductor, scout, nurse, and spy, and later as a small businesswoman and speaker. All of this stemmed from her core expertise, which was in strategy. So she did not go and just do all these different random things. Everything started with her core expertise and skill that she did exceptionally well. And then there were spokes that fell off of that. If I were to illustrate what this could look like for you today, this is how I would illustrate it. You have your core expertise. I know what mine is. Mine is speaking. From that core expertise, you guys, we have 1, I get paid to speak. Just got paid to speak the other week. 2, I teach others how to generate revenue from their voice, whether it's getting paid to speak or whether it's hosting your own event and making millions of dollars from those, which I've actually done. 3, now that we have a personal brand, we have gotten into the lifestyle space. We just recently launched a company that I can't talk about publicly yet, but we recently launched a company that's based on our lifestyle brand. We looked at our numbers and we're like, okay, we have helped 10,000 people with growing their business as paying customers, but we have over 70,000 people on our email list. Why are they following me? It's because they enjoy our content, they enjoy our lifestyle. So now we have a lifestyle brand. But here's the thing. None of this other stuff started before I got good at the core. Even when I owned a law firm, we still own a law firm. How did we grow our law firm? Well, we grew our law firm by speaking about our law firm. So that was our core. So everything else stemmed from our core. What I see a lot with entrepreneurs is they don't know what their core is. Like, you don't know the thing that you are really, 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 really good at. And so you're building all these multiple streams of income, but they are not based on your core. Like, what is the thing that you are known for in the marketplace? What is the thing that you are so good at? Before you have multiple streams of income, you need one stream that's streaming. And then from that, you build spokes off of your core. What are you great at? Not what are you good at? Like, you are not going to compete on good. You have to compete on great. Don't compete on good. Compete on great. What is it, especially if you sell services, what is the thing that you are better than everybody else at? That is the core skill that you will build your streams of revenue off of. So it's not about doing a million things, doing nails, lashes, hair, randomly selling books that don't have anything to do with your core expertise. Don't do that. Build a core and then build other streams off of your actual core, okay? And one of the things that I want you all to know and understand is that when you do this right, you become legendary. A lot of people know Harriet Tubman for freeing people, which is an incredible thing for her to be known for. But the deeper history in studying her as a businesswoman, which we don't talk about her as a businesswoman, but what I learned in studying her as a businesswoman was that this woman bought a 7-acre farm and house in Auburn, Fleming, New York in 1859 for about $1,200, which is $45,000 in today's money that she bought this farm for. She then bought an additional 25 acres at auction in 1869 for about $1,400 using mortgage financing and profits from her second biography. So she was a paid author. That combined homestead and land eventually became the Harriet Tubman home and is now preserved as a historical site and part of the National Park history. She was regularly a paid agent for the Underground Railroad to fund rescues she worked manual jobs for, including hotel work. Before some rescue trips, she would work essentially as a cook in places like Cape May, New Jersey, and use her wages to finance freedom missions. So another theme that we keep seeing with Black women entrepreneurs from the 1800s and the 1900s is that they leverage the fact that they knew how to make income to fund freedom missions. But when you looked at where they received their income from, they may have received them from different sources based on skill. What I am seeing as a big problem with entrepreneurs today is that they want to do things based on what they feel they're good at, not based on what the receipts say they're good at. Now, there's two things, and if you've been following me for a while, you've heard me talk about this before. Let's get into it. There are two things. There's receipts, right? Versus rhetoric. What do your receipts say you're good at? When I say receipts, here's what I mean. I went to receipts. Let me define it. Receipts are things that are undeniably true about you. I am a lawyer barred in Illinois, so no one can tell me that I'm not a lawyer. You can look it up on the ARDC website. I'm a lawyer, period. It's a receipt. You know what I'm saying? I graduated cum laude from Northwestern Law School. It's undeniable. It's a receipt. It's proof of that. You know, we've had over 10,000 paying customers. I think it's closer to 12,000. It's a receipt. We made over $11 million in revenue in the past couple of years. That's a receipt. Like, these are verifiable. There's third-party evidence of this. And then there's rhetoric, okay? Rhetoric is how you feel about your receipts. What I find entrepreneurs doing is they're making decisions based on rhetoric, not based on receipts. It's like, oh, Ashley, I want to be an AI engineer. It's like, that's great. Why do you want to teach AI? Oh, because I think AI is hot right now. Is that a receipt or is that rhetoric? What do your receipts say you're good at? If your receipts don't say that you were an AI engineer for some big company or that you have built all these AI tools that have transformed your industry, like, why are you why? What's the receipt say? If you build your business off of your personalized receipts, you stand out in the marketplace. If you build your business off of your personalized receipts, you don't got to feel like a fraud talking about what you do. You're not scared to make content because you're just talking about who you are. You're sharing your personal stories of success. You're teaching people based on tried and true frameworks that you've developed. But if you build your business based on receipts or rhetoric, which is like, oh, I think that I'd be really good at this. Why you got to think that? Like, are you good at it or not? Like, what do the receipts say you're actually good at? Build off of your receipts, not off of your rhetoric. And then there's people who have incredible receipts, but because of your rhetoric, you don't use your receipts. Like, oh, I mean, I was this great saleswoman in corporate, but no one will buy from me if I buy my own business. Is that a fact or not? What does the receipt say? The receipt says you made $20 million selling for other people in corporate. The rhetoric says, I'm not good enough to do it for myself. But what do the receipts say? The receipt says you're good at sales. Your internal rhetoric might be a lie. Okay, so look at your receipts. A lot of people call it imposter syndrome and all these different things. The truth of the matter is, I don't think people are looking at their receipts for what they are. I think that people are, for the most part, just going off rhetoric, going off vibes, going off what they see online. I want you to use your receipts as a guide for what you should be doing in the marketplace and not getting caught up in just the rhetoric, okay? And so those are some good things that we can learn from her. I thought that was one thing that I found very, very, very interesting was that in addition to fighting for freedom, in addition to doing all the things that she did, she was also buying land. She was also negotiating for herself in the marketplace. And it just led me to believe that even our historians, who we think about in one way, had an economic mission along with their calling. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is a good thing. I oftentimes think that one of the reasons why we struggle with doing good is because we have not first taken care of home using our skill set. If you've heard any of these lessons that I've shared about Black women who did incredible things throughout history, they all started with a skill and they invested in that skill and they did that skill at a very high level, regardless of the environment and the pressures and the circumstances. They were incredibly emotionally resilient. And what I would like to offer to the space today is that we need to be far more emotionally resilient. I am seeing a decline in emotional resilience. And I don't really understand it, but I know that there's a lot going on in the world. And I know that, the government is governmenting and they're doing all these things. But guys, let me be clear. Because some people, there was a white guy who commented on my LinkedIn post. And he said, you're basically proving the point that Black people have a fair shot today because look at what all these Black people did back then. First of all, white man, you don't get to say that. And that's not my point. My point is not that things are not hard now. My point is not that we're treated fairly now. My point is that regardless of the evils of our society and the racism that we definitely deal with, and the sexism that we deal with, and the economic genocide that our government is trying to put down on us, like regardless of all of that, there might be a way for you to still win. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not excusing their bad behavior. What I'm saying is, regardless of their behavior, you can find a way to win if you want to. And I'm also saying, if you ever feel like the world is too heavy now, I think we can gain strength from looking at what people went through. I couldn't imagine Harriet Tubman is trying to buy property, save lives, be an abolitionist, speak, not get caught while going back. Every time she went back, she could have been recaptured into slavery herself. Every time she went back, it wasn't just their freedom that she was fighting for. She was also refighting for her own freedom. She went from being free to literally almost putting herself in a position to be re-victimized and killed and murdered to help someone else. And if she can do that, how can I not make a live video for y'all to help y'all? Like, it's just not the same. Like, when I look at it, I don't think, oh, I really think like, I don't have an excuse. I don't want to do a live video. So what? Like, my freedom is not at liberty for doing this. I can say white folks and not worry about being killed right now for doing this. Like, I can stand up to them, right? Like, it's not the same. Like, I really believe, and I'm only sharing these historical facts. I'm sharing all this stuff because y'all, when I started learning my history, people talk about confidence, like where your confidence come from. First, it came from my parents. I had really good parents, and I know everyone didn't, so I get that. 2, it came from me learning who God says I am from an empowered place. But your view of God is typically determined by the church you go to or the parents you have. I believe, and this is no indictment on the church. I know people are like, don't talk about the church. Church gets a lot of flack. Whatever. I don't know all churches. Here's what I do know. There are some religious institutions that are showing people a version of God that is making them emotionally weak. And I thank God that the view of God my parents showed me made me emotionally strong. It made me feel better about myself, not worse. They did not show me a depiction of God where he's up there in the sky somewhere thinking that I am just this filthy, dirty rag and that I better be humble and I better not speak back to people and I better not make anyone mad. They showed me and told me the stories of Jesus Christ being bold. They showed me scriptures that supported having a big personality. They showed me what humility is unto God. It doesn't mean that you have to be fake lack of confidence. Having a lack of confidence and being insecure does not make you humble and holy. So miss me with all that. What I'm saying is, as a Black woman in America in 2026, I'm not losing. I'm not losing. And I think that there's some of you that have forgotten that if you would take your eyes off of all the enemies and take your eyes off of all the problems and put your eyes on who you were designed to be, you ain't got to lose either. You could step harder too. You could read these stories and be like, dang, Harriet is a Black woman just like me. She probably had fears. She probably had doubts. She probably had all these things. But at the end of the day, that sister did what she had to do, both to save others and to provide for herself financially. And if you think both don't need to exist, then you are allowing yourself to be re-victimized. The truth of the matter is, if you have the ability to get wealth, the Bible says he gives us the power to get wealth. We miss that power to don't mean give. It means you better exercise and utilize that power. Because if I had a weapon to defend myself, having it alone does not defend me. Using it does. So you have the skills, you have the strength, you have the resources. And the only thing an excuse does is it chokes your destiny. So I am here to be the voice of reason at a time where everybody's telling you, no, just live a soft life. Pray that you marry rich. All these narratives that they give to women that are just so stupid. Like, seriously, what are we talking about? If you are a woman with something that is on the inside of you, you want to build something, then build it. Don't wait for somebody to come and give you some random money. Are we serious? What are we talking about? Like, oh, I want to live a soft life. Let me tell you something. I have soft moments, but I am not on this earth to live a soft life. I don't have a hard life. I have hard moments, but I am not chasing soft or hard. I am on a mission, and I want to reactivate women who have a mission. I have a mission to do this. So when people are like, oh, you work so hard, you do this, it doesn't even feel like I feel pulled to do what I am doing. I'm not chasing money. I'm not chasing approval. I'm not chasing people liking me. I couldn't care less. All of that other stuff is noise in the background. And there are other women like me who have a mission. A lot of the stuff I see online is stupid. Can I just be real? It's stupid. You all are following people that are making you feel like you're not doing nothing because you don't have a Rolex or a private jet. That is stupid. When I look at our history and I look at what we've been through, wealth was for the culture. It was for the community. It was to help make our mission better. It was so that we could donate and change industries and change lives. Speak Your Way to Cash exists so that Black experts, predominantly, I'm gonna be real, this is why I started it, Black experts would have economic freedom and change unjust systems. That is the point of my company. Being rich is a byproduct of being effective based on what we do, right? The more people we help, the more money that our family makes, the more we can create generational wealth. Yes, but also the better these industries become. Yesterday, my team and I spent hours in a room painstakingly going through every detail of some of our clients' businesses and just straight up creating them sales plans and plans so they can build and dominate their industry and how they can help and how they need to do it and the words and what they need to use. I am always thinking about their best interest. Period. I don't know what other coaches do. I don't even care what other coaches. Can I be real with y'all? People come to me all the time. Did you see so-and-so? I don't see them, folks. You think I care? Like, I don't have time to be, matter of fact, if something comes across my desk and it gets me off my focus, I unfollow the account so fast. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I'm on a mission. And most of you are moving too slow because you forgot that you're on a mission too. And most of you are on a mission. But what's happening is you're getting distracted from your mission. You're not treating it with the level of importance that it deserves. Because you think that right now, because we are free, right? That there's not more for us to do, but there is more for us to do. There is more for you to do. You're not just writing a book. You're changing the way someone thinks about their life. You're not just being a coach. You're changing the way that family lives. And then every person in that family is going to impact other families. It's called ripple impact. You're not just doing this little thing. And that little voice in your head that's like, no one cares about what you do. That's a lie. Hello? That's one of Satan's easiest tricks is to implant little thoughts, implant people that are going to talk negatively about you. If you all have never read the book of Job, you should read it. Growing up, the only way I heard the book of Job preached about was Job is about this innocent man who God was testing. That was the prevailing narrative. But if you go back and read the book of Job, what it's really showing you is how even people who claim to be Christians and claim to be believers can speak so much negativity into your life that if you're not careful, you will end up not remembering who you are because of who people say you are. It is a book that has monologues of all of his friends saying, Job, you must have done something wrong if God is punishing you. You must have done something wrong if God is punishing you. Just admit what you did wrong. You're not that great. You're not that great. And every time, it's like one book is his friend going in on him at his lowest moment. The next book is Job responding to them saying I don't know why this is happening to me, but I was a righteous man. What I love about the book of Job isn't just that it shows that you can be punished even if you didn't do anything. That's not what I love about it. What I love about it is that Job has to stand up to his friends and family and proclaim over and over and over again who he really is, what he really did. He kept putting down his receipts. He was like, if you got proof that I did something wrong, show me. And many of you are great, but you look at stuff online and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not that great, and maybe I'm not. The book of Job is really a book of know who you are. People who love you even won't be able to see who you are at all times, but that doesn't mean you have to succumb to what they think about you. There are so many examples in the Bible of people who just were sure and who were certain and who even in their certainty and surety were broken. They were able to go to God with their brokenness, but it did not mean they had to submit to man with it. So run and tell that. I think we've been false-fed a version of humility that was leveraged to make us good slaves. Okay? And let's not pretend that they didn't leverage the Bible to do that then too. So at this point in at my big age, I go back and I read the Bible for what it is. I read history for what it is. I learn science for what it is. And I leverage all three of those knowledge points to build true confidence. So when you come to Black Women Sell Live, when you come to an event of mine, that's what you're coming to. You're not just learning from someone who knows it from one angle. And I know business, period. Clock that. So you're not just I know business. I advise billion-dollar companies. It is what it is. Like, those are my receipts. I left a $300,000 job, built a multi-million-dollar business, hired my mom and my husband. I work with people that I absolutely love. I took Black women. I recruited Black women away from unsafe corporate environments and gave them full-time jobs with benefits at Speak Your Way to Cash. That's what our company has done. We go back into these companies. We recruit the women away they ain't treating right, and we give them full-time jobs here. We give them opportunity here. We give them rev share here. That's what we do at Speak Your Way to Cash. So if I was focused on what all my competitors were doing and what all y'all think about me and all that other nonsense, there'd be 17 people per month that wouldn't be getting paid the way they're getting paid now, because that's our payroll. So I don't have time for games. And I want the woman who's done playing games to be at Black Women Sell Live, who's done playing small to be at Black Women Sell Live, who's done pretending she ain't who she is to be at Black Women Sell Live. And I want the woman who feels like she didn't have anyone to speak into her life. She didn't have anyone to tell her who she was. She didn't have parents who taught her history. She didn't have a spouse that was really supportive in the time. She has not been around a supportive environment to understand that you can be in a supportive environment now. And it can get better for you now. And you can buy the community that you weren't born into. Tickets start at $497. That's really cheap. Our events are normally thousands of dollars. We do this specific event lower than any other live in-person event because we do not want cost to be the reason you talk yourself out of your next level. I don't know where I'm going to get $490. Yeah, you do. And don't come to me with no excuses. I already told you about Harriet Tubman, all these people. I ain't hearing no excuses. You either get in or you don't. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't get on that wait list, you might not get no ticket because the tickets are going fast. We have 4,000 people on the wait list, or 3,800 people on the wait list right now as of this morning. We have 850 public seats because my clients get 150 seats reserved for them. So you need to get on the wait list for Black Women Sell Live. Check it out. Mary Ellen Pleasant. How did she do it? Oh, I wish I could just screw myself. Mary Ellen Pleasant? This can't be real.
Real or not, you've been carrying quite the load.
You see, wealth isn't always about what you keep. It's what you connect.
Ida B. Well?
When I wrote, I didn't just report, I revealed.
Right on time.
So it wasn't luck, it was strategy. We have always been so innovative.
You're not starting something new, you're continuing something sacred.
I want to teach every Black woman business owner in the world about you.
When I started this company, it wasn't just about selling hair care. It was about dignity, independence, community. That's what real marketing does. It doesn't just sell, it lives.
Be a true seller.
You guys, this event is going to be epic. So go to blackwomenselevent.com and get your ticket. I will see you there. Thank you, guys.